Hi everybody, we are going to be talking about multiplying sets of polynomials. So previously we talked about multiplying a monomial or a singular term like 3x to a binomial like 2x plus 5. And so we had a singular term on the outside and we had multiple terms on the inside. This time we are going to be multiplying two binomials together. So there will be two terms in each set that are going to be multiplied together. We really have two methods that we can do this with. One is called the distributive method or FOIL method. The FOIL method works when you have two binomials. When we get to larger combinations, we're going to call it just the distributive property or distributive method. But FOIL is just an easy acronym to kind of remember how we are going to distribute. You don't have to use the actual term FOIL. You can just say you're just going to distribute. That is fine as well. So what FOIL stands for, or what you'll be doing with the distributive property, is you're going to be taking the first term of the first binomial and the first term of the second binomial, and you are going to multiply them together. So the product of the first two terms, that's going to give us x times x. And then we are going to take the O from FOIL. The O stands for outer. So we're going to take the outermost terms, so the outside x and that outside negative 2, and we are going to multiply them together. The I in FOIL stands for inner terms or inside terms, and that's going to be the x and 4. So we'll multiply those two together. And then lastly, we will have the last terms. So that 4 is the last term of the first binomial, the negative 2 is the last term of the second binomial, and we will multiply those together as well. So as we multiply through, we will simplify and then combine any like terms. So when we multiply x times x, we get x squared. X times negative 2 gives us negative 2x. 4 times x gives us 4x. And then 4 times negative 2 gives us negative 2. Now that negative 2x and that 4x can combine to give us a positive 2x. So our final simplified answer is x squared plus 2x minus 8. And again, that's in standard form with the largest exponent at the beginning. So let's try using this method with our question or example of z minus 6 and z minus 12. So first I am going to take that z and distribute it to the first z. So z times z. And then I will take that z and also multiply it to negative 12. So we're going to distribute, and that we get z times negative 12. Then I'm going to take that negative 6 and distribute it to the parentheses on the right. So we have negative 6 times z plus negative 6 times negative 12. I'm going to go through and simplify this multiplication. Z times z is z squared. Remember, those each have a little tiny exponent of 1. You add the exponents together when you are multiplying, or you just ask yourself, how many z's do I have? And that's your exponent. Oops. And then we have z times negative 12 gives us negative 12z. Negative 6 times z gives us minus 6z. And then negative 6 times negative 12 gives us a positive 72. Now we want to combine any like terms that we have. I do say I have a negative 12z and a negative 6z. Those have the same terms. They both have a z with an exponent of 1. So we're going to combine their front numbers, negative 12 plus negative 6, or negative 12 minus 6. And we get negative 18z. So our final answer is z squared minus 18z plus 72. So that is using the distributive method or FOIL, however you prefer to call that. Next, we will look at the box method. So the box method isn't much different. It's just visually a different way to look at it. It might be helpful for some kids. who are just learning this. So the box method, we are going to isolate each binomial. I'm going to take that z minus 6, and I'm going to write it down the side of my boxes here. So z minus 6 is one of our binomials, and then I will take z minus 12 and write it across the top. Now when we go through and multiply here, we are going to take whatever is at the top of the column and whatever is on the side of the row, and we are going to multiply them together. So for example, I'm going to take that z and this z where they cross, and that'll give me z times z for that box. So we're going to go through and do this slowly. We have z times z, which we have learned is z squared. Continuing down, I have negative 6 times z, gives us negative 6z. Moving to the column on the right, z times negative 12 gives us negative 12z. And then negative 6 times negative 12 is a positive 72. So I'm going to isolate all of my terms after they've been multiplied. So I have z squared. I have negative 12z and a negative 6z. I'm going to highlight the ones that are the same types of terms because I know I'm going to have to combine those or add those together. And then we have 72. So if I combine my like terms, we have z squared going from the largest degree, negative 12, z minus 6z, those are going to go together, plus 72. When I combine those two terms, we get z squared minus 18z plus 72. Again, just like our previous answer, these are the same question, just done two different ways. You should get the same answer both times.